It gives me great pleasure today to introduce Theresa Collier from Plum. Plum is a member of our FOB Friday. The Senior Centre has a program called FOB Friday, and on Fridays, merchants on Bainbridge Island give us a 10% discount for our membership in the Senior Centre. So it's very thoughtful of them to do that. And so Theresa is our first guest in our FOB Fridays get together, and she is going to introduce herself and her staff and tell us a little bit about Plum, which is one of my favorite places on Bainbridge. And to celebrate that, I am wearing one of my items that I got from Plum. So welcome, Theresa, and I'm so thrilled that you're here to introduce your shop to us and tell us a little bit about how and why and where it was formed. So over to you.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you, Janet, and everybody. Thanks for joining today. You'll have to apologize me speaking through the mask, but we are open and to the customers now. We open every day, 11 to 4, reduced hours, but we're open every day now. Yeah, I wanted to just say real quickly that we are going into our 7th year. We've been here on Winslow, just up a little deck that's next to Millstream. So if you haven't stopped in, please do. We're kind of tucked up in the alley. And during the spring and summer, we always have it filled out with planters and a lot of lush wall hangings. So it's really pretty place to come for a little respite from the noisiness of Winslow Way. I'd like to real quickly just introduce some of my wonderful staff. We have Catherine Hansen today and Monica Peterson, and they are more than happy to just show you some of the lovely things here at Plum. So I was thinking, Janet, today we would just go through the store real briefly and then point out some of the things that are currently selling really well, and then just open it up to anybody who has questions. So I wanted to start actually outside, because there you see Winslow Way. And then we did, during the lockdown, we had a mural commissioned by Plum, by a local artist, where people can come and do selfies. And we just thought we wanted to share the message of rising above it all. This happened back in April. So we have a little fountain, and usually we have more greenery outside. And we ask everybody to sanitize before entering. And we have a capacity of 5 customers per at any one time, in addition to the staff. So we'll do a quick little tour around the store. We pack it pretty full because we're very tiny, a little under 1,000 square feet here. But we have a little bit of Valentine display. We sell a lot of books. There's some local authors like Mike and me, Rosalie Peel. She may be a participant at the senior center too. Lots of candles and soaps. And believe it or not, since lockdown, we started carrying masks, and we made it a mission at the beginning to make them as much as accessible to the public as possible. So we found some vendors, and we carried a 3-layer adjustable ear loop mask for $5. So to date, we're getting near 10,000 masks sold in our tiny little shop. So that's pretty amazing. We carry a lot of locally designed items, like this beautiful linen apron designed by a Russian designer who lives on Marrowstone Island. And we have some beautiful clothing designed in Denmark. And our price point, we would say, is pretty moderate. So you should come down and check it out. This is more of this Denmark company called Masai. Also, during this transition from spring this last spring, we're carrying a lot more casual, comfy, and we are buying our clothing based on the hand of the feel and the fit. So we all are looking for definite comfortable and cozy, some fun little sweatshirts, and just some good brights. We found a lot of our customers are looking for color just to brighten their day. We have some really 100% waterproof raincoats and our very famous sale rack, which changes weekly. And once in a while, we have a $39 everything on the sale rack sale. So those of you who are on social media or on our email list, that's where you get notice of our first sales. So this is our register where we have more sanitizer and our plexi shield. And I forgot to point out, we have our little stickers. We have jewelry under our glass. We can just pull out and have it accessible. And in our dressing room there, we have an antibacterial dressing room curtain where if somebody tries on something, then the clothing is actually steamed with our steamer. More jewelry, handbags. This is our cashmere land. And all of our cashmere, it ranges in price from $89 up to $189. But our topper is pretty much one of our most popular cashmere items because here in the Northwest, you can wear it year round. And then our little hamaguri socks. These are little socks made in Japan that have the little grips on the bottom. And they are for men over here and then for women. So those are really quite lovely. More socks designed. They are inspired by Japan. We kind of have, Plum has a Northwest Asian style kind of a vibe to it, where it's a little modern, a little more clean, and definitely an Asian feel. Just small little gifts, things for comfort, like sleep masks, and a little diffuser. We sold a lot of games and puzzles during holiday. And here's another fixture of masks. And then I wanted to show you this mask has been our most popular. We've selling many. It's designed by, actually made by a gal who used to live on the island. And this is the most well-engineered mask that we've carried so far. It's amazing because the little wire in the mask pinches around your nose and forms a great seal, and it tucks under your chin, and in the side it lays really nicely, and you can adjust it with the little loops. And to wash them, I just stick them, hand wash them in the sink with soapy water, and then dry it out with a towel, and then hang it over a little heat vent, and you're good to go the next day. We're almost done with our little tour here. We carry a lot of books and poetry books, note cards by local artists, and more candles. Yeah, so, and then a really great greeting card line that has really something for every occasion. Let's see. So that is Plum in a nutshell. I guess we can open it up to any questions that you all have about Plum. And
I would like to ask a question because I wrote a poem. I need to tell you that Plum has special little sessions that, unfortunately, due to COVID, Theresa's not able to hold so very much. But I did make a pumpkin garden last fall, which was a huge hit.
Yes.
But also, one year you had a spring contest for poetry, and you hung your poems in the little alleyway outside, and it was wonderful to see these plum blossoms and the Japanese haiku poem. So I would like to encourage you to do that again, because it was just fun to sit down and write a poem.
Oh, yes, absolutely, Janet. Poetry, April is Poetry Month. It's a national poetry month. And it was so successful last year because we had so many entries because that was when lockdown was really getting going and people really needed a place to express themselves. And so we laminated all of the haiku. It was a haiku poetry competition. It was not really a competition. It's just an exhibit. So then everybody submitted haiku poems. We laminated them and then hung them on our light string outside. So our little haiku poems were just filling the lines up here and fluttering in the wind, and it was just really special. And then we had our judges from the national from the Seattle Haiku Society pick their honorable mentions and their favorite. And then I think we will repeat that this April because it was so successful last year.
Yeah,
And
we are.
yeah. And then we had a succulent workshop, Janet, that you had mentioned. That
Yes.
was our very first experiment at, can we do an event here at Plum during COVID? And actually we did, and it was very successful. We did it outside on the deck, and we had everybody spaced out and socially distant unless you were part of your family pod. And everybody got a pumpkin and succulents and decorated it for their fall display. So something like that worked out really well. And we had a local landscape designer help us with that. And we may do something like that for spring, just to give some of our Plum family the ability to create something beautiful and growing. So yeah.
Yes, that would be really fun. But one of the other things I remember, I'm so thrilled to know that you sold all these masks. You had a mask display in the shop.
Yes, yes. And so that was kind of another one of our events because I thought, what else can we do where people can express their creativity, but yet we can't have a standard event where we have 20 to 30 people in the store. So we gave away plain white masks that were like, they were like this style of mask, and it was only solid white, and everybody got to take them home and just embellish them however way they wanted to. And the creativity was amazing. People created really beautiful watercolor paintings. They created some with expressions on them. Some were themed by different states. Like we had a couple New Orleans Mardi Gras beads, and it was just really fun to see. And then we had David Sessions from the Bainbridge Arts and Crafts Gallery, and Greg from BEMA come and pick their honorable mentions. And it was really interesting because they both picked very different masks for their honorable mentions. So that was a really, really fun event. And then we put them on the wall. Whoops, sorry guys. We put them on the back wall in a big display behind the register. So yeah.
Yes, I've always enjoyed the little extras that you do because it just makes it much more interesting to do that.
Oh, thanks, Janet. Yeah, because it keeps us engaged and we're always thinking of new things. Well, what can we do now? So, and it's just a whole new landscape out there for everybody in retail and especially on Winslow. I just do want to say that we had such amazing support of locals come out during December. And financially, we were only 15% down from the December the year before. And that is amazing because, and especially during COVID, that just goes to show you how much local support we had. So for that, we're so grateful.
So where do you buy your things? Do you go to shop? You can't anymore go to huge gatherings that there used to be gift shows in San Francisco and
Right. Yes, and Atlanta, and
yeah.
Las Vegas. And I should be actually in Las Vegas and had just come back from Atlanta in a normal year. I do notice, and then Seattle, of course, has a gift show for apparel and gifts, which I would go to. They just had a gift show, and then they're having an apparel show this week. But I do not feel like I'm quite ready to go to one of the gift shows yet. I'm just waiting. But I do notice a lot of vendors and a lot of designers are really going virtual. So rather than going to the show, now you're having to spend a lot of time online looking at their videos and their presentations. So I think down the road, you know, when everybody gets vaccinated and so forth, it'll change. But for now, we're having to go online a lot to see. But then you get into situations where you can't see scale so much and feel, and so much of our apparel and gift purchasing is based on that tactile, you know, just seeing it.
Yeah.
But it's knowing that this is transition and temporary. I think we'll be ready to go when things look up in the future.
So I have go on. Please go ahead, Rosalie.
Theresa, two things. I just wanted to thank you for being so welcoming to my book. I mean, I didn't really ask. I just noticed a book in there that I knew, and then from there mentioned I was an author, and she said, what? And then invited me to take my book in. I mean, that is just such a warm welcome, you know, rather than saying, would you take my book? Please, please. I thought that was really genuine. But then the other thing is I'm a great fan of the mask. And I don't know, Theresa, you may have said this because I had to click off and then click back in. And it's the lanyard. And I don't.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
that is absolutely my very favorite thing in the store. So when I go out, I simply put my mask on and I've got the lanyard. And of course, in Plum, they showed me how to put it. It needs to be on the bottom section. And then I just wear it around my neck. And then when I go in somewhere, you certainly slip it on and take it off. I also find I really like it at Battle Point Park when I'm walking, because most of the time I can have it off. But if you come across somebody on the trail, you want to have easy access. So before the lanyard, I was always hoping I had a pocket that was convenient. And anyway, I don't know if you talked about it or not, but it's my very favorite product. I actually need to get in and get a couple more. I just sent one to my sister in Alaska, and she's tickled to death with it. I've got another sister who's now jealous because she didn't get one. So, you know, I got to keep the family happy here. So thanks, Theresa.
Oh, sure. Yeah, it's that's right. Our lanyards have been really popular. Maybe they're just $5, and they're available in a lot of different colors and so forth. Let's see if I could switch it here. Yeah, and maybe Monica can demonstrate. There we go. So, Monica, can you demonstrate the lanyard and how that works? Oh, okay.
I can.
Yeah.
You use this one?
Sure.
So this is how I have it. And when you don't want it, for some reason, you just have it like that.
Yeah, it's
Very easy.
Yeah, and it just keeps it handy.
Yes.
It keeps your mask clean, so
Yeah.
you're not touching it and
Yeah.
stuffing it in a purse or a pocket. Thank you. Yeah. So those are great. Yeah, little lanyards. We also have these great little strips if you want to use with your existing masks. They're little wires that you put on the outside of your mask or inside, and to pinch it around your nose so that you get a tight seal. We also sell the 2 packs of filters to go in your masks that have a filter pocket. And then, of course, we sell the KN95 masks that some of the public health departments are recommending. If you want to double mask, you would wear that one underneath your cloth mask for extra protection. So yeah, those, I mean, we've turned in not only do we carry masks, but we are carrying a lot of other accessories to go with it. For example, like we have our face shield this is $9, but yeah, Catherine can put it on and model it. But this is particularly great if you're traveling or going into a really dense area, because you can wear it over glasses and it protects your eyes. So people who are going into the airport and then getting on a plane, we highly recommend this because it just gives you a little bit extra protection for your eyes. So yeah, those are just the little additional items that I think a lot of our customers are needing as they kind of navigate this whole COVID time that we're in.
Are there any more questions? Yes, please go ahead, Lawrence. Are you unmuted?
Yeah.
Are we on?
Bonnie?
Yeah.
Hi. Hi. Well, I'm actually wearing a pair of the little socks right now, and they have the slip, bottom, and I wear them every day in the house. It's just been wonderful. And my son actually went in and got them for my birthday last year, and he also picked 5 really beautiful cards. And so they were very special. I had to think carefully who was going to get those cards. So and I have been in and purchased several things myself. So I didn't really realize about the masks though, and that's great. So
yeah.
Yes, it's the lanyard. Thank you, Rosalind, for pointing that out, because that is a real lifesaver. The little clips mean you can use it. Well, I do. I use it every day and take one mask off and put another on.
And Janet, I also wanted to mention that if any of you still have reservations about coming into the store, we have an online website, and you could go to Plum Bainbridge and you can purchase any of these items and just pick local pickup by putting in your zip code, and you're not charged shipping. And then you could just run in, pick it up, and you don't have to stay in the store. So there's that option.
So Sheila, you have a question?
I do. I actually do. I want to know, Bonnie, what you're talking about with socks.
Oh, yes. Bonnie was
Sheila, we've lost you.
Oh, do you have me?
okay, well, the little socks that have stretchy, and then on the bottom they have a non-slip. They have a non-slip.
Lovely, lovely.
And
It's warm.
Yeah.
And they're very warm, and they're my go-to.
Yep. And we also have them with a little longer, so that cover your ankles in case you have really cold feet. And these have the little grips on them too. So, and I think the most difficult part about these is just picking the color that you want, because they're just in a rainbow of colors. Really pretty.
Yeah. Now, Carolyn, do you have a question?
I have a request. When Theresa walked by the box of masks, the new one, there was one with a heart on it.
Yes.
Would you snag that one with a heart on it, and I'll be down when this meeting is over?
You bet. This one right here.
That's the one.
Okay, we got you.
Theresa, can you tell us why you decided to open a store? And has the store evolved from what your first image was of it?
Oh, sure. Yeah. I was working in development at Blowdale Reserve years ago before I opened Plum. And the board of directors, they were looking a way to add an additional revenue stream for Blowdale. And and it wasn't going to continue in perpetuity if they didn't change the funding model. It only had maybe 20 years left, and then the funds would have been dried up. So they said, well, we've got to create different funding. And one of them was, why don't we create a gift shop, which was totally foreign to Blowdale. It was very, very unusual. So they asked me to start a gift shop there, and I did. And after doing that, and it was successful and so much fun, I thought to myself, I really should do this on my own. And so a little space came available here, and I just decided to jump. But actually, I had been in retail, in and out of retail for many, many years. For 30 years, I started at JCPenney and then worked at Frederick and Nelson, for those of you who remember, in Seattle. And I was in the buying office at Frederick and Nelson, and just loved that grand dame of the store. It's so beautiful, and I miss it even today. So that's retail's always been in my blood, and that's when I decided to open my own store. And it has evolved. Janet, you had asked about how it evolved. Originally, looking at the pictures when I first opened, it was just, opened on a shoestring. I've never actually taken a line of credit. I've just been very resourceful and trying to keep my eye on the ball. But when we first opened, it was really funny. We only carried one line of hand silkscreen t-shirts from this German designer. But now, as you can see, clothing is really pretty much 60% of Plum's sales. It's just become so much a part of Plum and the mix. But we're always evolving our mix, because I call it my laboratory, or where we create alchemy. We're always reinventing and bringing in new things, because that's what retail is all about. And running your own business, that's the fun. That's the passion part of it.
Because of the Northwest Asian contact, do you have a contact? I mean, do you go to Japan or to look or see?
No, but I've kind of, I love that aesthetic. So I've always had an eye, and both my husband and I like that in home design and home decor.
Yeah.
So I just kind of, a lot of the national shows in the past, like the New York Gift Show or Atlanta, they would have particular vendors that would really resonate with Plum. Those are the vendors that I would kind of hone in on, and kind of create that aesthetic. So when I go to gift shows, I'm always on the lookout for trends, and then always on the lookout for how I can translate that into something into Plum, like a display, and using color and a theme. So going forward in February, of course, that's the cherry blossom. We're going into Chinese New Year, but we're going to switch in terms of color. You'll see some pops of fuchsia and pink, and we're going to put pink lanterns out on the deck and have pink in here, and just kind of celebrate just the little beginnings of spring and renewal. And and that I forgot to mention that's how I got the name of the store. It's not so much Plum the fruit, but it's Plum Blossom. And Plum Blossom is the symbol of resilience and strength. So I just shortened it to Plum. That's why, hence the namesake.
Well, thank you for explaining that. Are there any more questions from anyone?
Well, I just like to make a comment to Theresa. Theresa, I just love that. I love your store. I walk down there quite often and look down that alley, and I mean, you just add so much beauty to the community, and I really appreciate it. I don't realize that. A lot of people don't realize that that is you doing that beautiful alleyway, and I really appreciate it. And I also want to thank you so much for being one of our Fob Friday people. You're on the top of the list right here. This is our splash that goes out every month to our members, and we just really appreciate that you give us a 10% discount every Friday.
Oh, of course.
And
yeah. Well, thank you all for supporting it too. We'd love to have you. So it's a great relationship.
Yes,